When Frances Fanny Crosby was 6 weeks old, her parents noticed that something was wrong with her eyes. With their family doctor out of town, they contacted a man that claimed to be a physician. He looked at the infant's eyes and decided to apply hot mustard poultices. The infection did eventually clear, but the harsh treatment tragically left white scars on her eyes, and Fanny was permanently blinded. Her father passed away shortly after, and her mother went to work to provide for her blind daughter. But for God's glory, that was not the end of Fanny Crosby's story. She went on to become one of the most famous and beloved hymnists in the world, writing over 8,000 hymns. One of Fanny's dearest friends was Phoebe Knapp. While Fanny lived in the slums of Manhattan and worked in a rescue mission, Phoebe lived in a palatial residence in Brooklyn where she dressed and entertained lavishly. Her music room contained one of the finest collections of instruments in the country, and Fanny was a frequent house guest. One day, in 1873, while Fanny was staying at the Knapp mansion, Phoebe wanted to play a tune that had been running through her mind. Going to the music room, she sat at the piano and played the new composition while the blind hymnist listened. And then it happened. Fanny clapped her hands with joy and said, "Why, Phoebe, that is Blessed Assurance." Within minutes, Fanny had composed the words, and one of the great hymns of worship was born. Many years later, the great preacher D.L. Moody and his music director Ira Sankey were preaching to large crowds in New York. They had popularized many of Fanny's hymns and made her name famous around the world. Yet Fanny refused to even be recognized publicly when she attended Moody's crusades. At one such event, Fanny slipped in late to hear D.L. Moody speak. The church was packed and Fanny could not find a seat anywhere. Seeing what was happening, Moody's son raced off the stage to help her find a seat. To her bewilderment, she had been led onto the platform just as the crowd was singing Blessed Assurance. Moody Sr. jumped to his feet, raised his hand, and interrupted the singing. "Praise the Lord," he shouted. "Here comes the authoress." Though Fanny was embarrassed, she gave a few short words to thank God for making her a blessing to so many. Then she reluctantly took her seat amid a thunderous ovation. Humble, gracious, and mightily used by God, that was Frances Fanny Crosby. Let us never forget that God can make all things work together for our good and His glory.